Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are doing great, especially with everything that's happening around us now. Today's video is something that I had planned to do before the coronavirus, and then as I was preparing for it, things happened quickly and quarantine started, so I thought that I'd postpone it until after all of this is done. But a few people have actually been asking about this in my DMs on Instagram and Facebook, and I understand that a lot of you guys who are planning to come to the UK are taking this time to prepare for IELTS and CBT and plan for other things involved in this whole process. And so I thought that this is a perfect time for me to do this video. And as you can see in the title, today I'll be talking about the changes to be made by NMC to the test of competence part 1 and part 2, and I'll also be telling you guys some 2 new skills that will be introduced in the OSCE exam. So stay tuned so you don't miss anything. As usual, I'm going to remind you guys that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. It's your way of supporting me and encouraging me to continue doing these videos for you, and it also contributes to the growth of this channel. We are almost hitting 3,000 subscribers and I will be so grateful, so please help me to get there. And also feel free to share all my videos with everyone. Feel free to comment, you know, those comments, likes, dislikes and shares, those help to grow my channel as well, so please do help me to grow my channel. So guys, this video is in collaboration with Kenyan NAS, who offer online coaching and training for IELTS and CBT exams. So guys, if you feel that you're in a position where you need training for either of the 2 exams, feel free to contact them on the WhatsApp number given above. As we all know, test of competence is a must for every nurse who's trying to come and work in the UK, and they divide it into 2 stages. So test of competence part 1 is the CBT exam, which is the computer-based exam that you do in your home country or wherever you are. And then the OSCE exam is the test of competence part 2, and that one is only done in the UK, and it's only 3 universities that are currently offering that exam. So don't worry about OSCE exam until you actually get to the UK, because you won't be able to do it when you're wherever you are outside the UK. NMC have been reviewing the whole process, and so many changes have been made, and a lot of changes will continue to be made. And they decided that they were going to introduce some changes to both of the tests. These changes were supposed to happen in the summer of 2020, which is starting June this year, but NMC have said that because of everything that has been happening, the test centers are closed. They had organized webinars and seminars to prepare people for the changes, but that cannot happen because of the quarantine. So in their website, they have stated that they might review the timeline, and these changes may come much later. So if you're planning to do the CBT exam after the quarantine, or if you're already in the UK and you want to do your OSCE exam after the quarantine, it's good that you familiarize yourself with the current settings of the exams. And I have done 2 videos on CBT and OSCE, so if you would like to check them out, I'm sure they will be very informative to you. I will leave the links in the description box down below, so you just click and it will take you straight to the video. Like a real love, but it goes so fast, all tied up like a... Currently, the CBT exam has 120 questions, all MCQs, which you are supposed to finish within 4 hours, but they are changing that, and they decided to divide the exam into 2 sections. Part 1 is going to be the numeracy part, which is obviously drug calculations, and it's going to have 15 questions, 1 mark each, and you need to finish that within 30 minutes. And obviously, you're allowed to use a calculator if you feel that you need one. So part 2 is going to be theory, which will have 100 questions, 1 mark each, and you need to finish that within 2.5 hours. Just to remind you, I have a video on OSCE if you would like to check it out to understand the current settings of the OSCE exam. Currently, OSCE has 6 stations, and those are 4 API stations, which is assessment, planning, implementation, and evaluation, and then you have 2 skills stations after that. With the new changes, they are increasing the stations from 6 to 10. Let's now look at what changes will be happening in each station, and let's start with the API assessment part. Before, I remember when I was doing my OSCE, in the assessment part, you would go to an actor and you would do their vitals like blood pressure, temperature, respirations, and everything, and you would have to deal with a few traps, like we call them. For instance, they would place a cigarette lighter, maybe some coffee or sweets on the table, and the patient is diabetic, and you had to have some type of conversation with them, explaining to them that maybe sweets are not so healthy because they have diabetes, and then you would offer some proper diet options from the kitchen. If they were smoking, you would offer to refer them to the smoking cessation department or give them leaflets or stuff like that. Okay, now what will be happening in the new assessment stage, and I'm going to read it from here. In the assessment part, the changes will be from just taking observations, into brackets temperature, blood pressure, pulse, and respirations, to a full A to E assessment, into brackets airway, breathing, circulation, disability, exposure, to reflect current clinical assessment. Okay, maybe it's just me, but before it was also kind of detailed because the kind of assessment you were doing depended on the scenario that was presented to you. Some people would get a case, for example, like chest pains or difficulty in breathing, and in that one you would have to do definitely the basic vitals and you would record them in the news chart. And then someone else would get maybe like a head injury, and with such a case then you had to go ahead and do the GCS score. And some people would get like a depression scenario where you would get the very simple chart where you would record your blood pressure, temperature, and the vitals. So we'll just wait and see exactly what they mean. In the planning station, it's going to remain the same, and you will have to make 2 care plans from the scenario that was presented to you. And then in the implementation station, it remains the same, oral drug administration. And then in the evaluation, initially we would make like a transfer of letter, imagining that you're transferring your patient from your facility to another facility. So you had to make a transfer letter explaining why the patient came, what you did to the patient, how they are now, and then what you're expecting the new facility to do, or you just give them guidelines on how to support these patients. But in the new one, they're saying that it's going to change from a written referral to another healthcare professional to an unassessed written SBAR assessment and an assessed verbal handover to another healthcare professional who will be the examiner. Okay, so I think what they mean is that it's no longer going to be like a written transfer of care letter. It's going to be you giving handover to another healthcare professional, and you will be giving the handover to your assessor. And the SBAR they mean is the for those of you who are not aware what it is the situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. So yeah, those are the changes to the API station. So be ready to do like a verbal handover instead of a written one, which in this case I think is much better because then the 15 minutes don't go so quick. All right. So in the skills stations, I think they are planning to introduce 2 more stations, and I'm just going to read the current stations that are on their website and also the 2 that they are planning to introduce. Okay, so the skills that they are stating in this form are in-hospital resuscitation, aseptic non-touch technique, which is ANTT, IM and subcut injections, and then you have catheter specimen of urine, you have removal of catheter, administration of inhaled medication, fluid balance, urinalysis, removal of urinary catheter. I think I said that before. And then the new skills are going to be IV infusion and VIP assessment. VIP in this case is visual infusion phlebitis. yes, where you check how the site of the injection is. And then the other one is going to be blood glucose monitoring. So according to the NMC website currently, this is what they're saying that is being tested, and the 2 skills that they are going to add to the whole exam. And those are the changes to be made, guys. They don't seem like major changes, just a few changes here and there, which are important for you to know. And like I said, initially they planned for this to happen from June 2020, but it's likely that they are going to postpone it. The seminars and the webinars that they had planned for preparing people for these changes were obviously cancelled because of the quarantine situation. But after this, I think they are going to set up new dates and they are going to inform people. So I think I'm going to attend one of them just because I'm curious and I want to keep you guys informed. So if you want to know what's happening, and I do a lot of videos on this whole process, remember to subscribe if you haven't. So that's all I had for you in this video. I hope that it is helpful. Feel free to share with someone, and remember to comment, like or dislike, and share. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye.